Nice pair of lambs. So she's lambed on her own overnight. Obviously outside and the weather's been rubbish. She's cleaned them off. Pretty much black, I think. A few bits of white. So we've got a really pretty set of black twins out of this really lovely grey-faced Dartmoor Shetland cross ewe. Grey's really not a very common colour for that cross. We've had her and her brother, who were twins, had that, and that was it. And her lambs are out of Jacob, so we were hoping they were going to be spotty, but they're both black at the moment, but they may well go grey with a bit of luck. So these were born a day or two ago, I think. And then we've got this little guy who was literally born about an hour ago. So he's a lovely little lad. So he is obviously out of a badger face ewe, and he is a Texel cross. So his dad's forge, big Texel boy. So you can see this pretty little lady has got an orange dot on her side, which means I know she was only supposed to have one lamb. She did it herself, just put them in the pen, well, just after they were born, and then makes life a bit easier for the little guy, getting lost and stuff. And there's so many predators up here. The idea of leaving them out's a bit risky for me. I'm not massively keen on it. I would if I had to, but at the moment we've got space. Okay, so obviously we have animals and they poo a lot. For a small farm we have a lot of muck, and it's a small farm with a wheelbarrow and a fork and a shovel. We don't have a tractor or anything mechanical really. So yeah, we obviously have quite a lot of muck, and we are trying to turn it into decent compost, although we haven't really got anywhere decent to keep it. Turning it regularly is a bit of a nightmare because we don't have any machinery. So anyway, we're trying a few experiments at the moment, one of which is this. So, not massively impressive or anything, but we've just got one of the pens that we would normally use inside for just if we've got a couple of weaners waiting to be collected. It's quite handy to have somewhere separate to put them, and we have just piled a load of muck in it basically. So you can see it's well, we've got this wood chip experiment running as well, so you can see there's a bit of wood in it which hasn't decomposed at all yet. This is only actually about probably this side's probably about 8 weeks old. The back bottom might be as much as 12 probably, so it's really not, it's really not old at all. But it's inside and we've kept it out of the rain, and well, we need to really give it a turn. So we're probably going to take it over into the orchard where we'll mulch trees with it in a few weeks, but we'll just pile it up over there for now. You can see we've actually got a bit of nice fungal growth coming on it in places, and for its age it's actually really not too bad. It's nice that it's not soaking wet, because normally ours is just soaking wet all the time because we have to keep it outside. And actually I'm quite liking the idea of keeping it under a roof. Like I say, it's not even close to decomposed properly yet, but for 3 months, well, this, like I say, this side's a bit less. It's not too bad really. It's a good start. So clearly this hurdle from the front of it needs a good pressure wash, but it's remarkably solid and dry. I'm quite liking it at the moment. I'll trip into it and we'll see how we get on. Like I say, we're really backed up with the footage, but if you do comment, we will, endeavour to do those videos. So whatever, if you like more poo videos or whatever, that's fine. Or if you don't, that's fine too. So yeah, that'll be great. Just comment, let us know what you think, let us know what you want to see, and we'll do our best to accommodate it. Thanks. So you can see it's slow progress, partly because I'm a bit out of practice and partly because it's just not the easiest job of a wheelbarrow. The Yorkshire's are good. I think it's got to be a good 100, 150 yards away or something. So by the time we're there and back, it's a bit slow. But you can see we're kind of into it now. It's not actually as well rotted as I thought it was. The straw stuff weirdly seems to take longer than the wood. Which doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't know, we'll work it out as we go, I guess. We'll see how it is when we get really properly down into the back section, which is that bit older. Okay, so we finally got the little indoor muck heap emptied. Done it a couple of times, couple of hours, couple of times over a couple of days, just because it's mind-numbingly boring and pretty physically knackering. Obviously, wheelbarrow and a fork is not, it's not what most people do with farms these days. But it's empty now. Like you can see, it needs a good wash. So we will get that done shortly. To this. So, having completely exhausted myself using a wheelbarrow and fork to empty just a small muck pile, I have finally relented and got a machine in to move the big one, so the yard is looking quite a bit cleaner. So Saturday the 7th of March, I'm not actually sure what date it is, to be honest. Just got here this morning and there's kind of lambs everywhere, so we'll have a quick look around. Lamb seems quite happy. So this lamb is literally still wet, just been born. Mix of eating and the ewes do a mix of eating and washing him, or her, haven't actually checked. Twins in here, they're not massive or anything, but they're not too bad. And then a few others out here. Hope that lamb isn't dead. It's very still though. It's breathing. What's the matter with you, little guy? Another one here. That lamb seems to be doing fine, so we'll move on. So the one with the green dot there and the brown face is the one that needs to go into the yard. I'm just a little bit confused. Let's pick that one up for a second. Which is only a good thing. So the little guy is up and actually thinking about running off. That's okay, I can live with that. Not both of you. You haven't had yours yet. Oops. A hole in the floor where we haven't concreted the post in. This is great. So straw you up. Get your hay racket in a bucket because Where that lamb is at now, it wasn't that keen a minute ago, so keep a better eye on that one. I'm getting a few now. There's a few obviously out as well. Okay, so we've been using this kickstart for weaker lambs this year, and so far, touch wood, it seems to be making a bit of a difference, helping them a little bit. So we're just gonna, well, I'm gonna do that now on this little guy who couldn't stand up a minute ago. Clearly he managed to stand up, so hopefully he'll be alright. This might give him a little helping hand, so we'll give that a go. And I need to iodine him as well. Sorry about the footage, it's just you're in a hay rack at the moment. Some of that went in. We just use iodine in a spray bottle. I don't know if you can see that. See, just for his navel. Help dry it out, stopping the infection getting in. Same for this little guy. Diet or whatever, I think, look. Go and do the next one. This is actually just feeding at the moment. I said that he or she has just stopped, but just get them. Slightly bigger lamb this. So you can see it's probably a bit dirty, its navel, it's still an hour old if that. Less than. So definitely need to get that dried out. It's a better lamb actually, but I've got this in my hand, so we might as well give him a little burst. We've actually used this once before, like last season. Sorry, I'll put you down. So we've actually used this net start before. We used it last year on the weaker lambs, and to be honest, it was quite good. We maybe only used it. We probably didn't use it on enough last year, but you know, we did okay. But it's, I think it makes sense to, you know, if in any doubt, it's a bit expensive, but if in any doubt, if it saves the lamb, it's definitely money well spent. It's, I want to say the bottle's about, I think it's about 18 or 20 quid, 25 doses. So actually, under £1 a dose. If it saves one lamb per bottle, to be honest, it's cheap. So got quite happy to spend a bit of money and get a few more healthy lambs, to be honest. Considerate mother as ever. She's actually quite a good mum normally, this one. Is a bit knackered. So we kind of got it all going on today. There's some lambs, which is great. Also cleaned the yard yesterday with the machine we got in for a few hours, which might not look clean, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. That's a lot easier than using a wheelbarrow, which is great. And then we've also got a couple of pigs with litters. So this is actually a gilt, so she's got quite a small litter, and she's, you know, it's okay on the first time round. You see they're quite nice. It's actually breakfast time, which is why she's a bit noisy. So, ready for your breakfast, yeah. We've only got another litter in here. So you're an old sow, aren't you? You're not a gilt, you're very old. You're about 5 or 6, I think. And you've got more pigs, which is great. But you're the oldest sow we've got now. And you're ready for your breakfast as well. So you can see we've kind of got an indoor setup at the moment. Well, predominantly our pigs are outside. They're, you know, they're pedigree Welsh pigs. All right, I know it's breakfast time, yeah, and they are outside most of the time. That said, we're in the mountains. It's very cold, very wet in the winter. The winters are long, and there's a lot of predators. Plenty of you know, foxes, badgers, all of that. And actually, it's just asking a lot of these little pigs. You know, these are ready to wean really in the next day or two, and you know, they're a decent size. When they're born, they're obviously much smaller, and actually, it's asking a lot for them to be outside in the sort of weather we have up here. You know, these would have been born in late January, early February, I think, and that is, having been there and done that, because I used to think that was the way forward. That is asking a lot of tiny newborn creatures, and you know, asking a lot of their mothers to keep them, you know, warm and safe. You know, when it's so wet and cold. So we've put a couple of these farrowing pens in, and they come indoors to farrow, so they're outside. All the sows are outside all of the time, except for if they farrow in the winter. We've only had them for the winter. We might put them in the summer. I don't think we will, to be honest. We'll see. It depends on the ground, I suppose. If it's very wet, we might, you know, put them in for a couple of weeks, then put them back out or something. But at the moment, it's probably just going to be the winter, and it just feels like I'm trying a little bit harder. And you know, if something happens and they don't all make it, at least now I'm sort of reasonably okay with knowing I've done everything I can. When something happens and, you know, you lose one to a predator, or you lose one to the cold or the wet or whatever, you sort of start doubting yourself and you think, well, I could have done this, I could have done that. At the moment, I'm kind of happy, done everything we reasonably can. You know, we don't use heat lamps or anything, but which I know that would probably help as well. But it just feels like a bit we'd be getting into kind of a factory system, and I'm not really interested in that, to be honest. I would rather let nature take its course to some extent, although, you know, sometimes that can be hard as well. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, a lot of people say pigs should never be inside, which I used to agree with, to be honest, but I'm actually quite happy them being inside in the winter, especially when they're farrowing. And we've got the option now of this nice big shed. Well, not big shed, but big for us. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But at the moment, I think I'm pretty happy with this. Thanks very much. So it's Saturday in March. I don't actually know the date.
27th, I think.
Okay. We've had our fruit bushes and trees. Like, we try to plant some trees and fruit bushes and stuff each year. We have had our delivery. So there's 105 gooseberries, black currants, red currants, white currants, and the 5 tayberries, because we lost a few because we had sheep in here, which was stupid. So we're going to do that now. But Good morning. So my favourite ewe probably, blackbird. Quite like a black sheep. Has lambed this morning. So she's got two really pretty lambs. Always, her and Apollo always seem to have the same kind of dark rams with light bits. They're soaking wet because she lambed them outside, but I've just brought them in and done them on a pile of straw while I set up an extra pen. I will put them. Just need to put some iodine on them, and then I will put it back. So they're tiny because they're pure Shetlands. We've got one boy and one girl. Okay. Boy and a girl. So yeah, one boy, one girl. She has twins every year actually. It's the first girl she's ever had, I think. I could be wrong. I think it is. So hopefully, although the girl's quite small, but hopefully we might keep that one maybe. Okay, so we are just on our way to check the sheep. We are on the A40 at the moment, and I don't know what's happened. Loud bang on the pickup and completely lost drive. So on the side of the A40. See, these guys have just got well, obviously grass, nice bit of grass. They've also got a high energy mineral lick that's got a bit of rainwater on it, so it's gone a bit wet, but that's okay. So you can see we've only got 4 ewes in this field, so 4 ewes, 5 lambs. It's I think it's just over an acre, just under an acre, I can't remember, but it's a good bit of grass here for them for a little while. So it's a nice sunny March day, which is nice after the rain we've had. On the upside, the rain means the grass is growing okay. So we've just put a couple of ewes, well 4 ewes and 5 lambs in this field, so it's not. It's only a small field, and we're keeping it for a week or so, and just move them on. Just try to keep everything moving. I'd like to move everything every day, really, but we're just not really set up for that at the moment. It's something we're kind of working towards. Eventually we will, electric fence and so on, but at the moment that's about it.